The theory that the customer is always right has encouraged people to increasingly misbehave and demand unreasonable services.
Here we have a series of incidents in an unnamed coffee location dealing with idiotic customers. Here we see a customer who expects the person at the register to know exactly what they want by pointing and saying, "This one, this one." Here we see a customer who has had plenty of time to wait in line and make a decision. Upon arriving at the register, the customer, having had this enormous amount of time to make a decision, is unsure as to what they want. Here we have a customer ordering a simple beverage. Upon the barista repeating the order back to the customer, they confirm that it is the correct drink, and upon receiving the drink once it's been made, are confused at the fact that it is the drink that they did not order.
Society has evolved to a point where people believe that they are the center of the universe, and everyone, especially service employees, must cater to their often absurd requests.
I work as a manager at Community Market, and part of my job is authorizing returns. And one day, my coworker Joe called me over because one of our regulars, Barry, wanted to make a return. I asked Barry what was going on and what he wanted to return, and he had these water bottles. He watched this program on TV the night before all about BPAs and plastic, and so he wanted to return the water bottles. So I asked Barry how long he had been using the bottles, and he told me that it had probably been about 3 years. And I explained to him that I can't return water bottles that you've been using for several years. We're gonna lose money on this. To that, he yelled at me, "But you're poisoning me!" And I tried to remedy the situation as best I could. I told him I would offer him a discount on new bottles, and he wasn't having it. So I let my coworker continue with the transaction, and I walked away. As I'm walking away, I'm literally like 4 or 5 feet away from Barry, and he looks over at me and he says, "I don't like that guy."
The service industry trains employees to take verbal assaults, even when said assaults are unwarranted and psychologically unsound.
I have a 47-year-old male patient coming into the hospital to determine his need for an implantable cardioverter defibrillator. The patient was brought into the EP lab and attached to blood pressure cuff and oxygen saturation monitoring, and the procedure was attempted. During the insertion of the IV sheaths in the groin area, the patient became extremely agitated and slightly violent. The study was completed and was found to be negative. The patient was told that he did not require surgery or a defibrillator, at which point he became angry and verbally abusive to the staff and physicians. He was angry that we had not found anything and threatened to actually kill the physician.
Unrealistic expectations will lead to greater frustration and could be the catalyst for greater violence in the customer service arena, especially if customers continue to operate under the notion that they are always right, regardless of the evidence pointing to the contrary.